I didn't want to upset him. I wanted to impress him. He opened the car door for me, and I got in, carefully, gracefully. He closed the door on my hand, and I left my hand in the door. He got in the car, and we drove 15, 20 miles to dinner. He stopped the car, and then he noticed. "Your hand is in the door." "Oh, really?" "Why, yes." "Yes." I laughed carelessly, as though I had forgotten. I never really liked my hands much anyway. Stubby, not long and lean. There were short brown hairs near my knuckles in both directions. So it was not hard for me to just leave it there, leave my hand in the door. My wrist. Now that is much more attractive, and without the hand it would steal attention. I left it there, my hand. It looked strange, lost, sulky. But it was no longer mine, and it did not concern me. When he opened the door, it fell to the ground with a thump. It looked like a glove that had seen a bad day and lay frozen and stiff from the weather. Dinner was good. I quickly adjusted to my new handlessness. It was exciting. A challenge. How do you cut the meat, for instance? Aha. Not easy. I didn't want to upset him. I wanted to impress him. A wrist is very handy. I could balance the fork just so. I was quite good at it, actually. The wine was delicious. He is very brave. I was starting to feel a little sad. From the wine, maybe. You get used to two hands. I had been raised with them. I started to feel sorry for the one in the parking lot. Alone like a leftover. I considered for a moment that I could go get it. At least take it home. It would only be fair. He was talking about work. I didn't want to upset him, so I excused myself. I was sticking to the chair. This had happened before. I have a little extra in the rear. He was noticing this time that something was wrong. I wanted to impress him. I was up, but my behind was not. It sat there without me. Before he saw, I spread my napkin over it like a dead soldier. No need to upset him. In the ladies' room, I looked in a mirror sideways, as I do, to see the tummy, the behind. None there, just a sharp drop. I am crafty, all the better to impress him. I took the scarf from my neck and tied it around my waist, pleating it here and here, and you would have never noticed. Back at the table, I let him know that I was tired of that seat, the one with my rear in it, and chose one closer to him instead. I told him I was more comfortable being closer to him. he suggested we could get even closer. I was not feeling very good, but I didn't want to upset him. He paid the bill. I had never really liked my rear much. No, to be truthful, it wasn't hard to part with it. When we got to the car, I looked down for the last time, just say goodbye, but it wasn't there. Dragged away, or picked up or something. Que sera, sera, I always say, and I didn't want to upset him. We drove to his place. Very impressive. Tall, shiny, at least 50 floors. Tasteful lamps in the lobby. Oriental carpets. Dark wood floors. He led the way down the long hall, past the security door to the elevator. I followed, and the door slid shut behind me very quickly. Practically instantly. My knee was bent mid-step. The door cut through my calf like butter, as if it wasn't even there. He didn't notice, luckily. I liked those shoes. We traveled upward for a long, long time. I used the minutes to find my new sense of balance. Quietly, efficiently. I did not know how I would be able to get to his apartment, so I leaned against his side. He took it as amour. I wanted to impress him. I moved quite skillfully, crutched on his shoulder. We reached the door to his apartment. Number 5237. I didn't know how I was going to manage once inside, but it had been a lovely evening so far, and I didn't want to upset him. I wanted to impress him.